Welcome back.
Yeah.
We ended last time on a real cliffhanger with that attack.
Yeah.
So chapter 29 picks up right there. And wow, this is
Intense.
yeah, an intense chapter.
It is. It's interesting how Harper Lee starts the chapter.
Yeah.
We don't actually see the attack,
Oh.
but we see the aftermath, like scouts coming down.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
And almost right away, we find out Bob Ewell is dead.
It is a very abrupt start, I think, and we see Atticus is in shock.
Yeah.
And Alexander's really worried and guilty.
Yeah.
And Sheriff Tate's just trying to make sense of everything, like something happened.
It's
But-
a mystery what?
We don't know the how or the why yet.
Yeah, I think Lee uses Scout's point of view really well here.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing all this through the eyes of a child.
Right.
So it's like we're figuring it out right alongside Scout.
I see.
Just little bits and pieces,
Yeah.
trying to make sense of it all.
Uh-huh. And that's where Mr. Tate, the sheriff, comes in.
Right, he's investigating.
Yeah, he's really methodical,
Mm-hmm.
examining Jim's injuries,
Yes.
taking a close look at Scout's costume, that ham costume.
And that costume is so important.
Yeah,
It's not just there for fun.
right.
It actually becomes a major piece of evidence.
Hi.
That wire,
Oh, yeah?
the damaged wire in the costume.
Uh-huh.
That's chilling because it tells us a lot about Bob Ewell.
Yeah.
He didn't just want to scare them.
Right.
He meant to hurt them badly.
It makes you wonder if Scout's costume actually saved her life.
It might have.
It's such a creepy thought,
It is.
but it also reminds us how much we still don't know.
Oh, yeah, like who actually stepped in and saved them?
Exactly.
And how did Bob Ewell end up dead?
Well, as Mr. Tate investigates, we start to get a better picture of Bob Ewell.
Right.
He seems like a coward, vengeful.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of guy who wouldn't face Atticus directly,
Right.
but would go after his kids in the dark.
Yeah, Atticus really struggles with that.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to believe someone could be so hateful.
yeah, you can see that.
But Mr. Tate, as sheriff, yeah, he's seen it all.
Right, he knows.
Yeah.
Like he says, some men are so dangerous, you have to shoot before you can say Heidi to them.
Wow. Right. It really makes you think
It does.
about how complicated things are.
Yeah, good and evil aren't always so clear-cut.
Definitely not.
But let's get back to Scout's side of things.
Okay.
I mean, her account of the attack
Yes.
is just bits and pieces.
Uh-huh.
She's remembering the darkness, the sounds of the struggle, that feeling of being squeezed,
Mm-hmm.
and then Jem screams.
It's scary.
It's terrifying.
All right.
And then this mysterious person shows up.
All right.
Scout thinks it's Atticus at first,
Yeah.
but then
Things get really interesting.
they do, because it's not Atticus.
Yeah. Lee builds the suspense so well here.
She does.
We're dying to know who this rescuer is.
Right, and then we find out it's Boo Radley.
Boo Radley, the one everyone's always whispering about.
I know.
He's the hero.
He is the unexpected hero.
And Scout with that simple greeting. Yeah. She just cuts through all those years of mystery and fear.
It's like she humanizes him in that one moment.
Exactly.
So powerful.
It is.
So what was your reaction the first time you read this?
Oh, wow.
What did you think about Boo being involved?
Well, let me tell you, it really makes you think differently about Boo Radley.
It does.
He was this outcast everyone feared.
Right.
And now he's the bravest person in that whole situation.
Yeah, it's like Lee's flipping everything on its head,
Yeah.
making us question all our assumptions.
Yeah.
Especially about judging people without really knowing them.
And it goes back to what Atticus has been saying.
Oh, about walking in other people's shoes.
Exactly.
Right.
Trying to understand their perspective.
And then you have Boo and Bob Ewell.
Yeah, what a contrast.
Right, Bob Ewell is all hate and revenge,
Uh-huh.
and Boo's this protector in the shadows.
It makes you wonder what true courage really means.
Yeah,
Is it being aggressive like Bob Ewell? Or is it quietly selfless like Boo risking everything to save those kids?
there's a question that runs through the whole book, I think.
It does.
What makes someone a hero?
Yeah,
Yeah, Lee doesn't give us easy answers.
Yeah.
This isn't just good versus evil.
right. It's more complex than that.
It's about human nature.
Yeah. The good and bad in all of us.
And that's what makes it so interesting to read.
Definitely.
It's not just about a trial
Right.
or racial injustice.
It's about understanding people.
Right. Seeing beneath the surface.
Yeah, and the potential for good even in the most unexpected places.
And Lee uses some amazing imagery to contrast Boo and Bob Ewell.
Oh, yeah.
Like how Scout describes Boo's hands.
Sickly white hands that had never seen the sun.
It's so haunting.
Yeah.
you know?
They did.
Like he's been hidden away for so long.
Exactly.
And then you have Bob Ewell, he's always out in the open.
Yeah, but his actions are hidden in darkness.
Right. Like Lee saying, true character isn't about looks. It's about the choices you make.
And those choices, they have consequences for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Boo saving Gem and Scout,
Right.
it changes things for the whole town.
Yeah, they have to face their own prejudices, their fears.
Exactly. Now that Boo's been seen, what will they do?
Will they finally see him for who he is?
Or will they still hold on to their old ideas?
And what about Scout and Gem?
Right? How will this change how they see Boo?
Yeah, can they get past their childhood fears?
And see him as the person he really is?
Yeah, the complex, flawed, but heroic person who saved them.
I think Lee wants us to keep thinking about these questions.
Me too, even after we finish the book.
It's that deeper level of thinking,
Right.
challenging our own assumptions,
Seeing the good in everyone.
even the people we might be afraid of.
Exactly. So as we go on with our deep dive,
Yeah.
let's keep those questions in mind,
Good idea. Pay attention to how Scout's views keep changing.
especially with Boo.
Yeah. And how this all connects to the big themes of the book.
Justice, prejudice, compassion, what it means to be truly courageous.
It's really amazing how much happens in this one chapter. You know,
Yeah.
we get action and mystery, those character changes you were talking about, and all those themes that really hit home.
I know, it's just classic Harper Lee.
It is.
The way she brings it all together.
Yeah.
Her language is so vivid.
Right, like when Scout describes the attack.
Oh, yeah.
He says it sounded like the roaring of an alien creature.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, you can just feel the terror in that moment.
Like you're right there with her.
Exactly. And it takes us back to that question of courage. What does it really mean?
Right, is it just physical strength?
Yeah,
Or is it something more?
something deeper.
With Boo Radley, it's clear that it comes from empathy.
Right.
And compassion.
He didn't even think twice about protecting those kids.
He just acted.
Like he really took that idea, walking in someone else's shoes, to heart.
Yeah, like Atticus was teaching them.
It makes you think about how all of this connects to Tom Robinson's trial,
But that's interesting.
right? You have Boo Radley, who's judged based on rumors and fear, and Tom Robinson, who's wrongly accused because of his race,
They both challenge those deep-seated prejudices in Maycomb.
and force everyone to face their own hypocrisy.
Yeah, their lack of understanding.
And in a way, they're both victims of a system that doesn't see them for who they truly are.
Ah, that's a great point.
It makes you realize that the lessons in To Kill a Mockingbird,
Yeah,
they're not limited to just Maycomb.
right.
They're about us too.
Exactly.
About examining our own prejudices.
Questioning what we think we know.
Recognizing that every person deserves respect.
Regardless of race, background, anything.
It's so powerful.
It is. Lee's novel is timeless.
Yeah,
A reminder about empathy, compassion,
right.
and standing up for what's right.
Even when it's hard.
Ah, that's what makes a true hero.
Absolutely well said.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this chapter,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with one last thought.
Okay.
Keep paying attention to how Scout's perspective grows.
Especially after meeting Boo Radley.
Yes.
See how she navigates that complicated adult world.
And how she learns to see beyond the surface.
Right, to understand the nuances of people.
And keep asking those big questions.
Those questions about justice, prejudice, what it means to be courageous.
Yeah, and the power of empathy.
To Kill a Mockingbird makes us think about these things.
And those thoughts,
Yeah,
they stay with you.
long after you finish the book.